Nagaba Sharon. I'm a first year student of Makerere University. I do a bachelor's degree in records and archives management, and it's a very, very great moment to be with you here. I would like to know more about you as we go on with our interview.
Good evening too.
Good evening.
My name is Nagaba, and I'm also a student here, year 4, doing veterinary medicine. I come from Rampara district. Yeah, that's all about me. We know each other as we go by.
Okay, thank you very much for that brief introduction. Yeah, I have a project to do, and according to my research, I would like to know more about the Banyankole culture. And good enough, I've seen you come from Rampala. I think that one is also part of the Ankole culture. So I would like to know where are these people located, like the location of the Banyankole people?
They are located in the southwestern part of Uganda, and as I said that I'm from Rampara district, there are also other districts that lie within the same area of the Ankole sub-region. We have Mbarara, we have Isingiro, Ntungamo, Bushenyi, Kibanda, Chirhura, Kazo, Shema, Mitoma, and very many other districts that lie within the Greater Bushenyi, Greater Mbarara, and Chirhura.
Okay, that's very much great. Then I would like to know what is the type of language, which language is spoken by those people?
Yes, automatically it has been Nyankole. Yeah, we speak Nyankole.
Like, if you don't mind, please, can you help, like, you elaborate more about the language, especially the greetings? How do those people greet?
Yeah, the greeting differs according to the time. If it is in the morning, the greeting will be different from that of the evening. And if I've taken much time and I've seen you, the greeting also differs. For example, in the morning you greet Orirota, and the person you're greeting will respond in Direje. Then if it is in the afternoon, you say Osivirota. Then the other one will say Nsivireje. Then if I've taken much time minus seeing you, I will give you a hug. Then I say Kije, Buhoro, Buhoroje, Murio, like that. That's about their greeting. But then also the greeting differs. In the Bahima, there is also another form of greeting where the young ones greet the elderly, Mbahi. And then the person being greeted will respond Mbahi Shikazi, Mbahi Chija, depending on the sex of the person greeting there.
Yeah, that is very much great, because those people, the way you've told me, they are so hospitable. But
True.
then, I would like you to also elaborate more. Which activities do these people take part in, so that it becomes a source of food or like source of income to them?
Yeah, it should be recalled that in Ankole we have two groups, the Vairu and the Bahima. The Bahima are those who actively engage themselves in rearing of animals, particularly cattle. And that is their main activity that earns them a living. Someone gets milk, they sell, they get money, they buy food, or they exchange milk with those who do growing of crops and get what to eat. Then the other group of the Banyankole, the Vairo, they do the cultivation. They do grow maize, they do grow matoke, they grow beans, peas, they do grow soya bean. So they grow very many things.
That is very much.
So those are some of the activities that earn them a living. Some are eating, some are just sold, like coffee. It's sold and then they get money from it. Yeah.
Okay, you've also mentioned something about the foods. I would like to know that specific food that those people take as their staple food.
Yeah. It should be known that everyone has that thing that they love most. And our staple food in Ankole is millet, kalo. That's a staple food, of course, it's always supplemented with any sauce. It can be gotten from beans, it can be meat, but the main food is millet, kalo. And then in the Bahima, we also get, there's a local sauce called eshabwe, which is made from cow ghee. It is also It's also common in the Bahima families. You cannot miss it. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. At least that is the reason why we see most of those people grow fat and fat.
Yeah, as you
I
know,
think it is because of the nutrients they get from those
yeah,
foods they take.
milk has a lot of fats. Then millet has a lot of carbohydrates, and when we go into science, carbohydrates accumulate and then they form the fat. So that can be the explanation for what you have said.
Ah, that is a very, very interesting food.
Yeah.
Then I would also like to know more about their dress code. How do they dress up?
Yeah. I'll begin with the women or the ladies. They dress in a local dress code known as busuti, and it's always like some short dress. Then under they have something called a chitambi. Then they always like cover themselves. There's a way they cover themselves so that it kind of humbles them down. When someone is putting on a suit or suit, they cannot move anyhowly. So the suit is the usual dress code for a Banyankole woman, and the men originally they used to put on hides, and maybe those who were cattle keepers they used to cover themselves with a piece of cross around here, and then also put another one around their shoulders. But of recent, they have also adapted to this kind of dressing where they put on braziers, like I'm dressed. Some put on kanzus. So they have been dynamic according to the changes of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for that discovery. But then as we go on, how are those people like? What is their way of life? Like considering, do they still have clans or they are just there as a whole?
Hey. The Banyankole still have clans, and you should know that originally they were arranged under the kingdom monarchy sort of arrangement, not until they were abolished by one of the presidents of this country, and from then the Ankole kingdom has not been reinstated, but they are still having clans. Yes.
Yes, please, you've mentioned about clans, so please, can you help me and you take me more? What are those clans? Because I even hear that those clans have totems
True.
and the principles they believe in according to what you told me.
Yeah. Those clans are quite many. I'm going to mention a few here, and their totems. Their totems is like something they say they believe that if a clan member touches it or eats on it, it will do harm on their body, or it will it will bring bad omen to them. For example, me personally, I am Mshambo, and our totem is a burnt house or lady without breasts, and in our language we call it epa or echira. So that is our totem as Abashambo. And then we also have the Bahinda, and their totem is a monkey. So they believe that if a Mhinda touches a monkey or its part or eats it anywhere knowingly, it's believed that when you do it unknowingly, it will not harm you. But if you know it and you go ahead to do it, then you get issues with it. So the Bahinda don't usually engage themselves in cultural activities that use part of the monkey parts, like a hide of a monkey or a bone, such things. And then we have also Abaitila. The Abaitila have their totem as breast milk, a masherika. And then we also have Abasita. Their totem is dew or me. We also have Abatiaba. Their totem is Oburunga. That's how we call it. It's some small seeds from some wild plants. So it's red in color, and they believe that those people loved meat. So when they saw it across the lake, they wanted to cross over to go and access the meat over there. But as they were crossing the lake, some of them drowned, and when a few survived and they realized that what was ahead was not meat, and it was that Oburunga. They hated it from there and then, and they said this killed part of our own. So it became their totem from there and then. Those are some of the clans there, but we have very many. There were Chimbili, we have our Yombos, the Bishkatwas, there are very many. Our Singo, our Gahes, there are very many there. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Koli, for that observation. Yeah, as you've said, so like in this current situation,
Yes.
do you still also go by that clan? Do you also still respect that belief that they used to do? So you told me that you are Omugabe, isn't it?
And I'm Mshambo.
Hey, Omshambo.
Yeah.
So when you see a burnt house, do you still believe that something bad can happen to you?
Yeah, seeing it is not of a problem, but approaching it and maybe trying to do some things from it. You know, people always engage themselves in cultural activities, and you want to use something from a burnt house. So I believe within me, I am a human being. I cannot run away from culture. I have an origin. I did not just appear here. So I believe in my culture and my clan.
That is a very, very good answer. Then I would like to also know, do those people believe in gods? Do they have religion? What is their religion?
Wow. Currently in Ankole, we have very many religions, which some of them you are aware of them. Like we have the Anglicans, we have the Muslims, we have the Catholics, Roman Catholics. We also have the Orthodox. We also have the Balokoles, the Pentecostal churches. They are there. But then you should remember that long time in Ankole, they actually before I go to the old religion, in our local language, God is called Ruhanga, and is believed to stay above in the heavens, above the clouds, and then long time, then in the 80s we had the Banyankole had their local gods, their African gods, and they had different names. For example, they had Kazoba. He was believed to be the god of light. Whenever they needed sunlight, they would pray to him. There was Nyabinji. He was believed to be a god of everything. So whenever you wanted to be a tycoon or own everything, you would pray to Nyabinji. There was also Karugaba, a giver. He was believed to be a god who gives. So whenever you are in luck, you would pray to Karugaba, and Karugaba would give you. And other gods like Muhozi, Rugaba, very many of them. So they had those gods. But that's about their religion, comparing the past and the present. Yeah. Of course, these other religions, the Muslims and the Christianity came in after the coming of the Arabs and other missionaries. Yes.
Thank you very much for that. But then I would like to also ask this. Do these people also still believe in those small gods, or after the coming of the missionaries, those people were just neglected?
Wow. Some totally abandoned those gods, but there are people who still cling onto them. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I would like to also know, how did these people pass their time? Which things did they engage themselves into, like a source of entertainment, source of
Yes.
becoming happy, and all that?
Yeah, there are very many things that used to occupy their times, like around the evening time. There's a song in that is of the past. They used to say, "Abantu bakarobwira bakababetana berundana batandika okutebya n'okugana batera engoma batagura." So in that song, there is what used to occupy their time. They used to drum and dance. They used to have stories, okushakuza, okugana, those things. Those are some of the things that used to occupy their times. Yeah, and storytelling and dancing. Yeah, they would gather around a fireplace and then they tell stories. Yes.
Thank you very much for that. But then I've been hearing from some cultures, they have been having those specific names they give to their types of dances. So I would like to also know the specific name given to that dance, particularly for the Banyankole people.
Yeah, the name given to the dance for the Banyankole is a Ekitaguriro, and that dance has a way it is always danced. The women dance differently from the men. For example, the men always move their legs forward and backward to mimic the movements of the cows. When the cows are moving, there's a way they move, one leg forward, another one back. So that is how the men usually dance. Then the women, there's a way they raise their hands and they move them in one direction in unison. So those hands usually mimic the long-horned Ankole cattle.
That is so interesting. I don't even know the time when I'll come and I just see that in person.
Hopefully
Because
you
it
will.
seems to be so interesting and so counting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I would like, how did these people get into marriage? Because I know it is something that is common. So I would like to know how these people, how did they take marriage? How did they conduct their marriage ceremonies?
Wow, marriage was always it used to be usually a boy's dad to find for them a spouse, or the boy could have gotten the spouse during adolescence. But then, after all that process of getting the person, the boy would not approach the woman himself. There used to be a third party, and he's still there, called the Katerarume, who used to link the two families. And before the real marriage, there used to be, and it still is there, a function called a pinjera, where the two families come and exchange materials in exchange for appreciating, bringing a woman for them in that pinjera. And there are a lot of cultural events done there. The families of the family of the lady, they exchange a mugamba with the family of the groom, and they used to the Banyankole give bride price, and mainly it is cattle, and it depends on the wealth status of one. It is all about the mutual understanding between the two parties.
That's the reason why most of the people fear marrying from the Ankole people, because it requires you to
Yes,
be having that money to purchase those
yes, you
cows.
must be with cattle unless you don't come.
That is so interesting. But
Yeah.
then I would like to also know, did these people believe in death, or how were their burial ceremonies like celebrated to send someone off?
Okay. Originally, the Banyankole believed that death was not natural. They believed that there must be something causing death. And whenever one died, they used to go to the witch doctors to find out the cause. And whenever someone would not appear on the burial, they would suspect them to be attached to someone's death. And then, whenever one died, before burying them, they would wash their body and then also close their eyes, like to wash them off the sins. They believe that they had to first wash them of the sins. But then the way they used to bury depended on their sex. For example, if one was a man, they used to bury them lying on their right side, then with their right hand under their head, and then their left hand on the chest. Then also the ladies buried differently so that they can face their husbands. The woman would be buried on their left, lying on their left side with their left hand under the head, and then the right hand pressed on the chest. But of course, with the advancement in Christianity, that has been neglected, and it happens in a few occasions. But that's about their burial.
That is very, very good. And then, at least for the information I've gotten from you, I've gotten a lot. I've got to know about those Banyankole people, their location, the language they speak, how they used to behave, how they used to pass their time. And I take this great opportunity to thank you for your time. Thank you very much for this interview. I remain Baba Sharon, a student at Makerere University, doing a bachelor's degree in records and archives management. Thank you very much.
Welcome.